check if everything is working live. Let me see. All right, so I think we are live now. Guys, if you are watching this, just let us know where you are watching from and put that in the comment section. Let us know if the sound is also clear. So I think we can begin now. I just checked and the sound was clear. Guys, if you are watching, just make sure you give us feedback on the sound. Um Rizwan, you can talk so that or you can speak so that we check if the sound is good
Hi everyone.
at this moment.
Hi everyone.
Yes. Yeah, so I think we are good to go. Okay, so first thing first, I think I need no other introduction. My name is Phyllis and I'm I work as AI engineer at TechWatt, and also I'm currently working for a Canadian company called QOL MedTech as AI engineer. And looking at the job you guys are doing at Ultralytics, I always get fascinated, especially from your posts, your contribution, and everything. Like I just love it. So today it's just good to have you on this particular show to at least get some insights from you about what you guys are doing. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. So to get started, I would like you to introduce yourself. Uh, just tell us where you come from, what you do, and then we'll continue from there.
Okay, great. Thanks. First of all, Alex, nice introduction. And the thing is, it's been a month ago when we actually discussed like we want to do a live stream, but there was something going on my end, so I was not able to join. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
this week I found some time, and I thought like maybe we can actually discuss and we can do a live session. So yeah, I think let's discuss about my background. So I am coming from a CS background. I have done my bachelor's degree in computer science, and then i
Oh,
then
that's
i
good.
joined the different companies of computer vn. And in September 2023 I joined the Ultralytics, and until now I am working with Ultralytics as a computer vn engineer. So
Oh, that's
yeah, so apart from that, I am also working on different community stuff. So for example, I am working on the community building, I am working on the technical side, so there are a lot of things I am working on. And it's not depend like my daily routine includes a lot of things, including community engagement, content creation, and also to support our technical side.
That's amazing. I always see your contributions, and I think for now everybody even knows you without seeing you because your works speaks for themselves, and your works are always amazing and outstanding. For that being said, for someone who is aspiring to become someone like you, can you share something on your starting points into this particular journey? How do you start? How have you started? It's like, how do you put your hands into computer vision and you are good at it?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So to be honest, there is not a straight way. There are a lot of challenges that I have faced in my professional life. So I think the best thing I can tell is like there is a no shortcut. So you need to work hard to get things, and I think the consistency is the key. So for example, so I have seen some different people like they are posting on the LinkedIn, especially, or some other social media platform, and then they pause this kind of stuff because they are seeing like their posts are not getting a lot of engagement or something like that. So I think like it's not a
Yeah.
single day game, it's a game of years. So I think even when I post, so sometimes my posts are not getting a good engagement, but still I am trying to keep posting the stuff because I know like it's take a lot of time to build the community rather than creating a stuff for a few months. So I think it's only like you need to stay consistent and you need to work hard to achieve your goals.
Oh, okay. So speaking of posting, now, like where we've gotten to in the industry, most of the times, like people do ask me, is it good to post? Or I do advise people to post anything they are doing at all. Even if it's a one line of code you write, you need to post. Do you think posting frequently on social media is relevant for let's say developers in this particular age?
I think I'm not sure like if someone has similar thoughts, but I think based on my knowledge, what I am thinking at least is like if you cannot show to the community like what you are building or what you are creating, then you cannot explain or you cannot do the things in front of community, or you cannot build your voice in front of the community. So you need to do things and you need to share with the community so that you can get more opportunities. Because if you will just do the things like you are doing, for example, I have created the code for the ABC application, and if I do not have the ability to showcase it to the community, I don't think like I will get a decent engagement, or at least I am pretty sure like the community will not know me, or community will not see me at least. And due to that you can miss a lot of opportunities. So I think whatever you are making, I think I always advise the people. So for example, if you are actually working on a project about OpenCV, for example, you just extracted the frame and you have written the code for that. I always believe like you should share with the community, because in that way you are building your community, and also you're actually getting more attention from the community.
That sounds good. From that, I can decipher that like it's very good for developers in this age to frequently post because, from my point of view, when you have designed something cool and it's on your computer, like the whole world knows nothing about it, no matter how great it is. Let's just assume maybe OpenAI developed ChatGPT or something like that, and they decided not to give it to the public. They decided not to announce anything about it. Then it offers no value,
Yeah.
right? So posting as a developer in this particular age, I think is a must thing to do, even though we are not imposing it on others, but I think it's a must thing to do. And this brings me to my next question, which I wanted to ask you. What inspired you to work at
Yeah,
Ultralytics?
I think it's a very, very good question, and I was expecting that. So, yeah, I think the work culture at Analytics is very good. The thing is, it's a very friendly culture. So, especially I like my founder. So, he allowed me to work on different kind of things rather than forcing me to do things like what they want. So for example, if I need to work on some kind of community project, he do not tell me, or he do not say like you don't need to work on this thing. He always say like you need to build the community and you have the idea for that, so please go ahead with the things like the things that you think like it is a good for the community. So I think the all credit goes to Glenn, because he's the one that is actually allowing me to do the works that I want to do. So I think apart from that, there is also a great company culture. I like that because we are doing a lot of things and we are doing in a friendly manner. And also I think the most important thing which I believe, like, which is very important for me when I'm working with any company is like the fast pace and how the things are moving. So Ultralytics is growing in a very fast pace, so every day is a very challenging,
Exactly.
every day is a that we need to work a lot on different things. So I think that is what I really like a lot about Ultralytics.
Okay, so I want to now. I've seen that like you are like a role model to many people. I'm not going to lie because in the computer vision industry, you have published a lot of articles on Medium. You, let's say you are current, you are up to date about what is going on in the field of computer vision. Can you share maybe one milestone you are very proud of, right?
Mhm.
That you have achieved that you are very proud of
Yeah.
at this
Well,
point?
to be honest, first of all, I think it's a praise from the community because I am very happy because community is understanding like what I am doing, and community is engaging with my content, like what I am posting. But apart from that, at the same time, I feel like there are a lot of other people in the community that are also posting a lot of technical stuff, and I really like that because there is not a single person that can lead. There are a lot of community people that can help to. So I think the main thing about the community is whatever you are building, you need to share with the community so other can create the stuff around that. So this is the my aim. And the second thing is like the most important thing or most likely thing that I think is the best for me at this point, or on which I am very proud of, is the LinkedIn. So when I did started the LinkedIn, I have nothing. Like for example, I was not writing the Medium blogs, I was not writing anything. But then when I joined the LinkedIn and I started creating content, then I realized like I need to start working on the Medium articles and different type of things. And then I think now I'm very happy. I think the LinkedIn is the best one that I can proud of because it's something I've spent a lot of time on to build the community and engage with the community.
Okay, okay. So that's cool. I think that is very good. You are super active on LinkedIn, and I can rightly say that maybe one of the social media you are very active on will be LinkedIn, probably, if I'm right. Okay, now let's just shift gears to YOLO. One of the powerful models out there, or one of the good algorithms out there, and let's talk about YOLO. So YOLO V8. What was the inspiration behind YOLO V8?
When I did join the analytics at that time, the YOLO V8 was already there. So I was not involved a
Oh,
lot
okay.
in the development of YOLO V8, but then I was involved little bit in the development of YOLO V8.1. So when the let's
Okay.
discuss little bit about YOLO V5. So when the YOLO V5 was released, we was only supporting the object detection and the only object detection. But then we have released the other version, V5.1, V5.2, and so on. So each version has different kind of tasks. So for example, in V5 point probably 3 or 4, we have added the segmentation, and also in V5.7 or V5.8 we have released the classification models. So this is how we was working on. And then when we released the YOLO V8, we were at that stage where we were actually supporting the object detection, image classification, and pose estimation. But we was not supporting the oriented bounding boxes. And then after a few months of research, a huge credit goes to Jingq because he was the one that was leading the effort. So oriented bounding boxes we have released in YOLO V8.1. That was released in 2023, not 2023 but 2024, January 10. And then after an year and a half, last year in YOLO Vision 2024, that was held into September, we have released the YOLO 11. So YOLO 11 is built on the previous architecture. Like for example, we have used the same architecture of Ultralytics YOLO V8, and then we have created the Ultralytics YOLO 11. Uh, the best thing about Ultralytics YOLO 11 is it has less features as compared to previous model, and it's also performing well as compared to previous model. So we have actually optimized the backbone, and at the same time we have reduced the features. So now YOLO 11 is better model as compared to YOLO V8, but at the same time it's also providing the better speed.
So You know what, like a lot of developers do say, like mostly people around me, people, I also use these models as a matter of fact to build stuff for people. People usually say like they don't see so much change between YOLO V8 and 11. I was there, and one guy, one computer vision engineer based in Spain, just called me and he said he's trying these models out, and really, like, he can't decipher the change between these two models. So what do you think about that? Have you also encountered some situations like that, or can you clearly tell us something about these two models and how they can see the changes in these two models?
Oh yeah, that's interesting question. So, so what happened is like the YOLO 11 medium model is has less parameter as compared to YOLO V8 medium. So our benchmark is your medium model. Not it was not the nano, it was not the small, it was not the large, and not extra large. So the benchmark model where we have compared like YOLO 11 is performing well is the medium model. So if you will take a look at YOLO 11 medium model, you will see a lot of difference as compared to YOLO V8. And I have actually tried both the model, and even I have shared a lot of posts in the community about YOLO V8 and YOLO 11 comparison. So what I feel is like YOLO 11 is better in terms of understanding the object and also accuracy. So there is less class misdetection issues in YOLO 11 as compared to YOLO V8, because I have actually tested it on the visual data, and I can say like YOLO V8 is performing well, but at the same time it was identifying the classes as wrong. So for example, if there is a bag, YOLO V8 is calling it as some book or something like that. But when I have tested this on YOLO 11, it was performing very well. So I think you may not see a lot of difference, especially in terms of speed, but you will definitely see a lot of improvement in accuracy.
Okay. And yeah, you are right. You see, mostly, I think mostly developers, we try the smaller models because one, we may not have the computational resource to run the medium or the large model. So our first start is with the smaller model. So I think that's it. And one thing I also tell people is that maybe we are addicted to YOLO V8 because when YOLO V8 came out, the whole world was like, wow, like this model is performing great. And we've used it for a while, so everyone is like, oh, okay, YOLO V8, YOLO V8. So we have not actually seen the significance of YOLO V11 that much. I think with YOLO V11, the hype wasn't there as compared to YOLO V8. But all the same, if you just look at the metrics, you can see YOLO V11 is much faster than YOLO V8. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Why do you, how do you guys approach to, like, what are some of your approach of improving these models? Okay, improving this model both for speed and accuracy. Do you think there is much to do to improve this speed and accuracy, or where we have gotten to is an optimal value?
No, I think a model will definitely improve, because these days AI is actually evolving rapidly, and also with the help of OpenAI and DeepSeek, these kind of technologies. So I think definitely the model accuracy will improve, and also there will be a lot of new architecture that will come soon in from different community members, or maybe from different big companies. So I don't think like this is the final point about the accuracy of models. I'm pretty sure like in the future there will be YOLO 12, YOLO 13, 14, or maybe even YOLO 20 as well. Or even
Uh-huh.
sometime as in the previous few days, I have seen a meme, especially on the LinkedIn, where people were saying like YOLO 100 is not a long way. So it will become in a couple of days or a couple of months.
Yeah, yeah. When we look at how fast they are coming in, you can see maybe we'll receive something like that. Okay, so what do you think of vision language models? Will we see that in Ultralytics workflow?
Directly we do not support the vision language model with Ultralytics, because Ultralytics package is created for specifically computer vision tasks. We can integrate the vision language model, or at least the vision language support, but directly at the moment we have not planned for, or we are not thinking about that. But definitely, I think I am actually exploring different vision language model, and in the previous few days, I have actually created the license plate recognition with that one. So I have used the detection
Yeah,
model,
I saw that.
and then I have used the OpenAI API key to convert the to extract the data from bounding box and then display it. So I think the lesson spread was very good. So this is how actually I think
Yeah.
you can use the vision language model, but there are a lot of application in the vision language models you can use with the Ultralytics or any kind of object detection or segmentation model. But I am working on different kind of things. Hopefully I will share few news with you. So for that I think you can definitely follow the Ultralytics notebooks, because whatever I will create, especially for the community, it will be on the in the notebooks repository.
Okay, that looks good. So one thing the world is improving on is maybe I see that most companies are trying to go multimodal, right? Like a model that can do vision tasks, that can do tests. Will that like is Australities considering something like that, or the base or main focus is on detection and segmentation and let's say post?
So the thing is like so maybe I think OpenAI was released maybe 2 years ago, because not OpenAI but ChatGPT was released 2 or 3 years ago. But still at this point,
Yeah,
you cannot use the API to do the detection or segmentation task. So I think it's
yeah, I
very
understand.
difficult, especially for even for the language model to do detection or segmentation task. And let's suppose if the model is still detecting that, or still if the OpenAI models can be capable of doing the detection or segmentation tasks, then the next issue will be the speed itself. So you cannot get the real
Exactly.
time speed, and that's where analytics is there. So we do not have the plan to actually integrate the vision language model directly or the multi language model, but we do have the support to community. Like for example, if we can create some kind of resources for the community so they can use that, that is good option, but we do not have the plan to actually integrated with the Ultralytics package.
Oh, okay, so now let's talk about open source. I know you are very excited about open source and you contribute a lot to open source. So what motivates you to contribute to open source?
Yeah, I think that's very good question. So because I think it's all about the in the future you will see everyone will love the open source. The thing is, uh, if you can create something, and especially for the community builder, not for the people that are not interested in the community. So if the person is not interested in the community and they just want to do their job, I don't think it's a good motivation for the GitHub. Like people often contribute, but people do not think about like GitHub is the only place to contribute. For me, the things that motivate me daily to contribute, especially to Analytics or different open source repository, is because at the same time it's providing me a lot of values in front of the community and also in front of the larger organization, so people can notice me, people can reach out to me for different queries, and this is how I can create the community and improve the community. So it's all about the community. There is nothing like my only whenever I wake up, my only thing is I need to uh, engage with the community, improve the community, and get more community growth. So this is my only aim, and for this I actually contribute on GitHub, I contribute on the LinkedIn, I contribute on maybe some other platform as well. So only I my main goal is to build the community.
Okay, that's great. So sorry to ask this question. How does the maybe let's say the open source community help in the development of YOLO models?
Are you referring to happiness about the development of YOLO model?
No, no, I'm saying how does the open source community help in developing the YOLO models? Like, do they help?
Oh, okay. Okay. So you mean like how they are actually helping us in terms of improving our existing model? Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's all credit goes to community, because we personally do some a few things like if there is some error we try to resolve at the same days, especially in the analytics package. But the most important thing is like with the help of community issues, community pull requests, it's really I think it's a great, because I think with the help of that we are actually improving our existing analytics package a lot. So for example, when I see different kind of issues from the community on our GitHub repository, or if I see any pull request, I think that's where I see like community is contributing a lot, and community is at least telling us like this is something wrong in Ultralytics package, we need to resolve that. So we always try to improve the things as soon as possible. So for example, if there is any error in the Ultralytics code base and we have identified that, so we try to solve it on similar day or maybe in that week.
So let's move on to this question. For our viewers, I'll bring up their questions in a sec. But let me ask this question, which I always get from people. Let's say I wanted to develop a product using Ultralytic Ultralytics models, right? What are the necessary permissions I need, right, in order to maybe develop something and ship into the market for me to get revenue on using YOLO models? What are the necessary permissions do I need to obtain?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and I think that will help the community to understand like with how they can use the analytics package, because this is something that community, a lot of people are confused in the community. So I think it's a good question. So
Yeah.
there are two things especially. One is the AGPL 3.0 lessons, and the second is the enterprise lessons. So you offer two lessons. If you have the code, for example, you have created the code for or you have created some kind of application on top of Alterytics package and you have open source that. Open source doesn't mean only like you just need to open source the GitHub repository. You will also need to open source the weight and everything whatever you will create with the Alterytics package. Then you don't need to actually buy the license, and you can just use that for the community, or even you can earn the revenue as well. So it's not something, but if you will use it for the commercial projects, and you will close source your project and you will still use the analytics, then you will need to purchase the enterprise license for that. And we have different option for the enterprise customer, so it's depend on your company size and lot of other factors. But I think we also support research and development lessons for the enterprise customer. So if any company is in the research and development phase and they are not actually selling something, or they are just in a proof of concept phase, so you are actually providing a less price lessons to that companies as well. But I think major thing is like it's all about the open source. So if you are using the analytics code base and you are still create earning some revenue, but are you are still open sourcing that code, I think you don't need to actually pay the enterprise license cost. You can use it freely.
Oh, okay. I think this is very important to me because I get it a lot, and it's good that people know so that in case they want to develop any product around neutralities, they can be able to know the way forward and know what to do. So that means in that case, to obtain a license, they have to write to neutralities, and neutralities have to give them the necessary licensing before they continue with their
Mm.
product, right?
Yeah, I think so. Only two options we have: AGPL and Enterprise. If you are open sourcing your all the code, like you have made some changes in the Analytics code and you want to sell it to the customer, but you're still open sourcing that, I think you don't need to purchase the license. But if you will not open source that, then you will need to purchase the license. And what you need to open source, we already have the documentation for that, so I can drop in the link of the chat after the meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I would like to
Mm.
have that. That's cool. So this question is coming from Faisal. This is one question. Let me ask you that. Um, is there any possibility the neutrality starts working in some sports analytics like basketball, hockey, cricket, and any type of advanced cricket technology, etc., like DRS?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and at the same time, I'm really passionate about this kind of sport projects. But at the same time, we are building our team. So currently, our team is not very big. So once our team will have a lot of people, and we are also hiring for different people. So if anyone have a strong skills, and we already listed a lot of job in our LinkedIn page, so you can also take a look at that. So
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
think we are hiring
Okay,
different
that's
people, but at this point, I think our main goal is to build the community, and I think we can try to create some sports projects, but we cannot show like how many we can create. We can create two or three or four, but we can not create a lot of projects for the sports.
Oh, okay, that looks good. Okay, speaking about hiring, or speaking about job opportunities, which many of the viewers would like to explore, or many of the computer vision engineers would like to explore, how is it like to land a job with Ultralytics? What are the processes? What are the skill sets? The someone who is aspiring to work with Ultralytics should possess.
Well, I think it's not about. Maybe we can generalize this question to how you can hire the job in some company as a computer vision engineer. I think,
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
think if you want to be a part of analytics, so one thing you need to make sure is like we are growing very well, and we are growing in a fast speed, so you need to align with our goals. Like for example, we offer a flexible and friendly environment to work with, but at the same time we need the result. We do not believe it's only on the word, but we at the same time need the result. So for example, if I need to work on something, so I have the goals for that, and if I will not able to achieve, then I will be responsible for like why I am not able to achieve these goals. But if I will able to achieve these goals, then I will have many other opportunities that I need to think about, or I need to focus on. So I think if anyone want to computer vision, become a computer vision engineer, so I think the first thing is you will need to learn the basics of machine learning, because this is where everything, if you have some knowledge of machine learning, I think every computer vision concept will be easy for you. But if you not have the knowledge of machine learning, and you will just start with the open cv or some projects that community already created, then I think it will not help you to learn a lot of things in computer vision space. So my goal is like, if I need to start again from the scratch in the computer vision space, I will first of all explore the projects that people already done in computer vision space, and then utilize them, edit them, and create different kind of things, and then try to learn from these, because it will help me then to understand what kind of best technique we can use in project development. I think these days OpenAI is there. You can ask different kind of queries, you can get different kind of answers, you can get the code from chat gpt and so on. But the best thing is like you need to learn, and learning cannot be done within 1 or day or 2 days. You will need to learn maybe a couple of years. I am still in the learning phase because I am not someone like, yeah.
Exactly.
So I think it's all about like you need to learn regularly. At that way you can get good opportunities, and a lot of people will reach out to you. And the second thing is the community building. So if you can build the community, there is lot of opportunities that you can get. But if you will just think like you have everything and you don't need to show it to the community, then I don't think like in the coming years like community is everything. So whatever you will create, it will help you in the future.
So someone is asking from the comment section, Mr. William is asking, maybe you can talk more about industrial application using, I think you spoke about that, but maybe you can take that again for him, using YOLO models in industrial application.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of industrial application, especially related to monitoring production line, conveyor belt, or something like that. So I think a lot of projects I have created related to that. For example, bread counting in the production line, then bottles counting in production line. So these kind of projects I have created. But I understand his opinion. I think he's more referring to like how we can deploy these kind of YOLO models on embedded devices, or the different kind of devices for deployment. So I think to deploy the YOLO models on different industrial devices, like for example, or embedded devices, for example, Jetson Nano, Jetson Orin, or something like that. I think the best way is you will need to actually optimize the model, and for this you will need to use different kind of export format. If you will use directly the PyTorch model, you will not get the good accuracy or no, good speed actually. But probably I think whenever I use the YOLO model on embedded device, especially Nano, uh, the thing is like I always try to optimize the model in TensorRT format, because this is the one format that is specifically designed for embedded devices. So for example, if you are getting 30 fps on your system with PyTorch model, you can get around 40 to 50 fps with the same model on Jetson Nano with the help of TensorRT format.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's all about like you need to play. with different kind of things, especially in computer vision space. Even in my daily life, I am not getting good accuracy in a single run, to be honest. I'm getting the
Oh, okay.
accuracy with any kind of model, maybe in a 10 iteration or maybe 20 iteration. So but that
That's
doesn't
cool.
mean like if you're not getting the good accuracy, so you should stop. I think it's all about the reiteration and learning and avoid from the mistake, and and then you can proceed with next steps.
Okay, so we've talked about models, and so on. Now let's talk about deployment. How are you guys simplifying the deployment process of YOLO models?
Well, it's depend on like where you want to deploy. So, are you referring to deployment on embedded device, edge device, or simple computer system?
Let's start with simple computer system.
So, let's discuss this with an example. Suppose you have a conveyor belt in a manufacturing line, and then you want to count how many objects are passing the conveyor belt. So, we already have different kind of solutions created for that, and the most common one is the object counting that we have created. So using that you can just and it's not complicated. You will just need to copy the code from our documentation page, and you can use that. All you will need
Yeah,
to use is do is to change the video file. So I think it's pretty
exactly.
simple, especially in terms of deployment on computer system, because on computer system you have a good GPU memory. Even you not have the good GPU, you still have the CPU, so you can run that. But at the same time I feel like when you will go to embedded devices, or when you want to deploy your models on embedded device, it's the process is quite difficult, because then you will need to quantize the model, then you will need to convert the model into tensor RT format. and
Let's see
and
format.
the
Yeah.
interesting thing is like I always use the deep stream for whenever I use the Jetson Nano, because deep stream is a very friendly application, and to be honest it's a very important application, especially on Jetson Nano, because it allow you to run multiple stream with a single model file, and that is something I really like about.
Oh, okay. Okay, someone is asking a question. Is it, can neutralities be used to determine whether a soccer ball has crossed the goal line? Additionally, can it identify if a deflected goal was initially on target or not? Oh, okay. So I think with this one, Ultralytics just provides you with object detection, so you'll be able to detect whether the position of the ball and get the coordinates X, Y for yourself. So for you to maybe check if it has crossed the line, then you need to do some transformation to that particular football pitch or something. So maybe you can do perspective transformation to um get the field in the right position. You have a line in the goal post and check if the ball have crossed the line. But I don't think neutrality straight out of the box will give you that functionality. You have to come out with something and do that. Okay, so they provide you with a detection whereby you detect the ball and know the position of the ball at any point in time with respect to time. Yeah. So I think I've answered him, but maybe if you want to throw more light on that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the question is very interesting. I think the person can also use the logic that we have created for the object counting. So, for example, uh, you will have the line, and you can check if the object is crossing the line. So, in that case, you will need the object. Your object will be football, and the line will be the line in the goal scenario. And once the football cross the line, you can consider like there is a goal or something like that. But I think directly we
Yeah,
cannot, we do not provide the support for this kind of task, but we can definitely create the example around that.
exactly. Exactly. So let me see. Pitch moment zone. I think you are answered, and I think that's looking good. So now I have this question: what are the common pitfalls users face when deploying YOLO models, and how can they avoid them? So
Mm.
you have been doing this for a while. So what are some of the problems people normally report to you? Okay, you are trying to deploy this model. I'm getting this. I'm getting that. These things are like hindrances. What are some common pitfalls?
So for example I feel like what happened is This is the most common question. This is the most common question I have received in my inbox, and my inbox is full of this kind of questions. So maybe I can answer directly.
Oh,
So I think the best thing
yeah.
is like sometime what happen is people are training the model on 640 image size, and when they are using the embedded device or they are deploying the model on embedded device, they are actually reducing the size it to 320, because at that speed that image size model is providing better FPS. But the thing is like it's actually reducing a lot of accuracy.
Exactly.
If you want to actually convert the model into 320, why you are not actually training the model directly to 320 size? Because then it will not actually reduce a lot of features. For example, if you want to deploy on embedded device, I think you should not train the model on 640 size. You should directly train the model on 320 size, and then you can just convert the model into TensorRT format to use on Jetson Nano. But people are actually first of all training the model on 640 image size, and then they are actually converting the model into 320, and then they are using for perform inference on deep stream or some Jetson Nano device. So this is a very I think this is the thing that people should avoid, because it can later on uh, create lot of accuracy issue or even sometimes speed issues as well.
Okay, so that is to say, if I train a model with a particular image size, I must make sure when trying to use that model, I should use it with that same image size. Is
Yeah, yeah,
that it?
exactly. Because I think it's not for the general purpose model. Like for example, if you just want to test it with the, for example, if you are trained a model on 640 size and you have a good GPU system or CPU system, you can still use the 640 image size for inference. But the issue lies when you're
Okay.
actually deploying it on some kind of embedded device, because at that time you will actually need to reduce the image size to get better speed. And for that, sometime people are actually just converting the model to 640, to resizing the model from 640 to 320.
Oh, okay. Okay, now let's shift gears and talk about Ultralytics Hub. Just tell us something about Ultralytics Hub.
Okay, so I think Ultralytics Hub is a no code platform that we have created, and it's allow you to upload your data set, train the model, validate the model, and then you can also export the model. Whatever export we support currently in the documentation, it's also available in the Analytics Hub. So it's pretty simple. Like if you not have any kind of coding knowledge or programming knowledge, you can still use the Analytics Hub. So for example, you will just need to click on three steps. One is upload the data set, and you will need to upload the file. Second is select the model. We have a lot of model listed, including YOLO v5, YOLO v8, and YOLO 11. So whatever suit your requirement, you can select that. And once you have selected, then you can train the model. And for training, we offer different options. One is Google Colab, which is a free resource. So you can just copy the link and just paste that, and you can train the model. The second is Ultralytics Cloud. So the cloud option we provide is where you can actually it's a paid feature. It's not the community feature, but other than that, everything is community feature. So the cloud platform is a paid feature where you can actually use some cloud options for the GPU that we have. So and for using that, you can train the model. And then the last
Oh,
stage is deployment. So within once you have the train model, you can see the visualization graph. We do support different kind of visualization, for example precision curve, recall curve, and map and accuracy values. So once you have agreed like your model is performing well, you can click on export option, and it will allow you to export the model into different format. So for example, if you export the model into TF Lite format, so you can use it with the edge TPU compiler on some kind of edge devices, for example a smart cameras or some IP cameras that have a very small amount of memory, and you still want to detect the objects with that. So I think you can use that.
okay, so Mr. Williams is also asking, can we also annotate on
uh,
Ultralytics? I think that feature is it in Ultralytics Hub? You have that feature in Ultralytics Hub where users can annotate their own images.
no, you mean like in the Ultralytics Hub?
Yeah, or do you have a feature or something like that in
Mm.
Ultralytics where users can annotate image annotation? Have you considered something like that?
Currently, we do not support the image annotation feature in Ultralytics Hub, but we do have the plan in the upcoming month for this feature.
Oh, okay. That's to say, users must come with their images or dataset prepared before they can use Ultralytics app.
Yeah, you just need to prepare the data set in the YOLO format.
Oh,
So
okay,
similar, like
okay.
if you are actually training the model, you will need to create the data set. This is how similar you will need to create the data set for Analytics Hub.
Oh, okay. But I think that's a feature we would like, or that's a feature the community would like to bring in the data set and just annotate it right there. Now that there are models that can help in maybe doing automatic annotation, you just annotate one and they can. Let's take Florence 2, for example, maybe. So I think it's something that the open source community will be very proud of if they can annotate their image because one thing about this AI and this software is about like having the opportunity to do everything at one place. So yeah, I think that's something maybe you will look into.
Mm.
So that's a very valid question. Okay, let's move on to my question personally. How do you envision YOLO models, let's say in the next coming years, in the next 5 years to come? Where do you see these models? What do you think they can be capable of in these next years to come? And what are your expectations for those types of models?
Well, I think to be honest, the way that OpenAI and also lot of big techs are moving with toward the generative AI and visual language model, I think it's still unpredictable, like what will happen in the coming months or what will happen in the upcoming years. But one thing I am pretty sure is like there will be a lot of iteration in YOLO, especially. So YOLO 11, for example, then YOLO 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, and up to maybe 50 or 60 or something like that. But I think the iteration will not stop, because what happen is it's all about the research. So whatever you are researching, you are actually presenting, and if your research is better than previous one, so it's a new model. So I think but the main challenge about the YOLO iteration is like I lot of people are actually, even lot of researchers are creating different kind of YOLO iteration. For example, if you will take a look at YOLO V7, YOLO V4 or YOLO V3, they were just a research and they were no longer maintained. But now if you will take a look at YOLO
Yeah,
V8, YOLO V9, V10, V11, not V11, actually 11. So just for the community, we have dropped the V from YOLO V11. So it's just a YOLO 11. I have
yeah.
seen from the community a lot of people are using YOLO V11, and I can understand like it's not an easy to interpret. Like you are actually using YOLO V8, V9, V10, and then immediately YOLO 11, and we have released V. So yeah,
I complain about that. I do made a
yeah.
lot of posts about that. Up to now, I can't just. I'm just obsessed with the V there. Like I don't know why it is changed, and I think I made a post about that and Ultralytics, and you yourself commented on that.
Mm,
But so like people, we are used to the V. So up to now, I still call it YOLO V11. I
mm.
don't know, even though it's YOLO
So only
11.
way was like we were thinking like we should continue with the 6 word rather than adding a 7 word. So for example, if you will take a look at YOLO V10, so it's end up in 7 words. But I was thinking like maybe we should continue with the 6 words. So now YOLO 11 has 6 words. But apart from that, I
Oh,
think
okay.
move on to the topic. So it's so the visual language model, or how the YOLO model are iterating, I think it's most depend on like if we are providing a suitable or a long running package. So Analytics is a long running package, and one thing I am pretty sure is like in the upcoming month we will create a lot of different stuff in the Analytics package. So, for example, Clanty support the fast SAM model, SAM2 model, and also a lot of other models in the our model documentation section. So, and the usage is pretty simple. For example, if you are using the Analytics YOLO for YOLO V8, you don't need to actually change anything except the model file, and then you can use YOLO 11.
Uh,
So this is the beauty of Analytics
I
package,
think
and this is what I like most about the Analytics package when using.
same. What I love about it is the simplicity. You need barely like about 4 or 5 lines of code to run any YOLO
Mm.
models. Like it's that simple. And I must say you guys are doing an amazing job for that, because looking at all the code that is running at the back end, you have done all the hard stuff. All users have to do is to bring in their video file and run the code. Okay, a lot of people are asking questions. So this from Mr. Abdullah, is it Aria, if I'm pronouncing your name directly. He said, thank you. How can we contact you? I am trying to reach you on LinkedIn. Please ask him how we can contact him. Okay, it seems a lot of people want to reach out to you. So they're asking how they can contact you. Maybe they have something to discuss with you.
Well, I think I'm thinking because on LinkedIn it's quite difficult for me to actually answer every query because there are a lot of queries. If even I open the LinkedIn on some day, for example, if I go to sleep and then I wake up in the morning, there are a lot of queries in my inbox. So I cannot especially handle all the queries directly. But I am thinking like probably I should consider creating some kind of Discord channel where community can ask
Discord,
the
yeah.
queries, and then we can answer the quiz directly, because I think only specifically on the LinkedIn it's quite difficult for me to answer every query, but I always try to
And
help the community in whatever way possible.
yeah. So and also to add to that, one possible way to get your comments or your questions answered is by commenting them
Yeah, I
under
think that
posts.
is
So
good, that is
if
perfect, that is
yeah,
perfect. So,
if let's say Rizwan has maybe created any post and you have a question, I think the best way is to just congratulate him for that particular post, or say something about the post and followed you just add your question in addition to that particular post, and he will see it, because with the post and the engagement you have to um actually reply to those comments. So I think that that is another
mm.
way. And he continued to ask, also, how can I choose, or how can we choose best model, like my research detection, the tennis ball on grass court? How can I choose the best model?
Oh, well, I think tennis class, I'm not sure if it's in the Coco dataset or it's in the OpenImage V7 dataset, but probably I think it's in the OpenImage V7 dataset. So we support the pre-trained model for OpenImage V7, but we are not supporting for the YOLO 11, but we are supporting for YOLO V8 model. So if you think like you want to detect a tennis ball or something like that, I think you can use the OpenImage V7 model. Uh, it's pretty simple. You don't need to change anything in the code, you just need to change the model file, and that will be probably I think open images dash v7, not actually open images v7 dash YOLO v8s or something like that. And then it's everything is written in the documentation. So if you will go to datasets tab in the documentation, then there is open images dataset, and then at that page you can find everything, how to use, how to train, and how to run predictions.
Also, if you have, let's say, if you have trained your own model, or Ultralytics straight out from their files tells you, gives you the best model. So you get the best model there, and you can choose it. And the metrics are also there to even show all the curves right there, so you can rightly choose the model right after training without even any technical know-how. So yeah, I think the best model is the best.pt. So I think that's the way to go. Okay, so Mr. William is asking, do you consider your company as B2C or B2B?
Oh, well,
Business to,
I think I'm pretty not sure about this question, because this is not I have not discussed this with an internal
yeah.
member yet, so I can't say. But I think for to answer this question, I would say like you should probably discuss it with maybe our founder or maybe our HAP, director of the growth.
Oh, okay. Particularly, I would say neutralities is into all of that. I would say probably based on what I've seen so far, but is I think the founder would be the best person to answer this type of questions. Okay, so I think we are good. I've not seen any much, any other questions yet. All right. So now let me ask this shocker question. What is the most let's say the most unexpected application of YOLO model that you've seen and you said, okay, wow, these people have done well. Okay, this is amazing.
Well, I think it was actually not an amazing application, but it was some kind of a unexpected application. Like I was thinking like how we can use the YOLO in that. So the person was actually trying to segment or to understand the chicken behavior with Ultralytics YOLO. So that was something like how you should,
Okay.
because chicken is itself a very small object, and then how you will see like if chicken is good or not good. So I think it was something like I was thinking like how we can do that, but then there are a lot of other application as well that that community is making. So I really enjoy when looking at that. Especially in the previous days, I was looking at not previous but maybe a few days back, and a person was using the media pipe, and then he was actually playing the maybe some kind of ball game on the front of screen with the help of media pipe, and he was using the pose estimation. So I thought that was amazing, because I think I was thinking like that cannot be possible, but there are a lot of people in the community that are making lot of computer vision things, and I really enjoyed liking them. So I think
Oh,
it's not about like how much following you have, but it's also about what impact you are making in the people's life. So the more impact you will create, the more opportunities you can get.
okay. So do you should we expect something about, let's say, 3D models like
Oh yeah.
from
Yeah,
Ultralytics?
I think there is a lot of research going on, to be honest. But at this point, I cannot share like there are what kind of things we are implementing. But for the community, we are creating a lot of things. So in the future, there you will see a lot of things from the analytics side, especially related to models itself.
Oh, okay. I think okay, where we are going to, 3D computer vision models will play a pivotal role, and a lot of people will maybe want to see something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this to myself, and also based on questions I've received from people, are we really underestimating classification nowadays? Let's say you want to do classification and object detection. Is object detection overshadowing classification? Well, I heard most computer vision enthusiasts and computer vision engineers say, okay, instead of doing classification, you can do detection instead, because maybe detection is very fast or something like
Uh,
that.
to be honest, I think uh, classification is fast as compared to detection in general. It's
Detection, yeah.
because you are not iterating on different grades values. In object detection, what you're doing is like you need to get the localization of the object, and for this you will need to iterate over different grids. Each grid could be up to 32x32 pixel, or maybe it's depend on the image size as well.
Takes a
Yeah,
lot of time.
but I think the way we have actually created and optimized and created the code for object detection, it seems like the object detection is very performing well as compared to image classification, because the model that currently we support for the image classification, I think they are not the state of the art model, but at least they can handle different kind of problems if you're dealing with any image classification task. But our state of art the model are especially the object detection. So so that's
Oh,
why I
okay.
think object detection is good, but at the same time, if you will compare like if image classification is fast or object detection, so I think of image classification is fast. But it also depend like how what kind of objects you want to classify. So if you are using multi-class classification, it will be slow as compared to object detection, because
Yeah,
but at the same time, if you will do single class
that
classification, it will be fast.
yeah. With classification, I think the more the classes, the accuracy also do reduce. So in that case, let's say I have, let's say, five classes which I want to train. Should I would you advise to go for classification or object
Oh,
detection?
well, it's also depend like if you want to localize the object. So, for example, if you want to draw the bounding box around the object, so I think you cannot do directly with the classification. You should definitely need to use object detection.
Okay. Okay, Mr. William, I think you got a lot of questions. Can you input thermal camera into YOLO?
Oh, yeah, I think we haven't tried that, but I think there was some community request, and also some a person from the community opened the PR for that. We are looking at that, but at this point, I am not sure like if there is a way to use the thermal images. But I
Oh,
think
okay.
this is our to do plans, so we should definitely add the support for this kind of feature.
And people should be looking forward up to it. Oh, okay. All right. So finally, this brings us to the last part of it. Let's talk about Ultralytics
Oh
Solutions.
yeah, I
And
think I like that.
what's let's talk about Ultralytics Solution. What is the brain behind it, and how do you come about it? Is it something from the community? Is it that like you've seen people doing a lot of projects around it, and you wanted to compile that project at one place for the community, or what? Just tell me something about
uh,
Ultralytics Solutions.
Okay, so well, I when I joined Ultralytics at that time there was no solution or something like that, and then I started creating the content about the Euro models and different things, and then with time I realized like people are not just interested in only the detection, segmentation, and pose estimation. They want to use the models in the real world, like they want to use the model to do some kind of advanced stuff. And then I noticed like let's start with some kind of proof of concept. And then when I started, the first one was object counting, so I have created the code for that. And then with different iteration and feedback from the community, I have optimized that. And also I think we are still trying to improve that, because there are a lot of things in the solutions that we need to actually refactor, so that user can easily use that, even with the same code that they can use for the prediction or tracking. So we are working on that, but yeah, I think it will take some time. But yeah, I think overall the motivation was to support community in better way possible. And then yeah, I think
Okay.
with the time we have created a lot of solutions. So for example, let's consider the parking management. So it's a pretty simple, within maybe 10 to 20 line you can do the parking management, where you can highlight how many slots are available, how many slots are occupied. So it's a pretty simple solutions we have created. And the best thing is these all are real time solution. There is no delay or something like that. So if you have a GPU machine, you can use that, but if you have a good CPU, you can still use that. It's all the thing is you will need to convert the model into different formats.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So is like members of the community as allowed to contribute to Ultralytics Solutions?
Yeah, I think overall we always try to help the community, and also we always say like we are happy to take a look at different prs that community create. But the thing is like sometimes the prs are not very relevant, or sometimes it's breaking our code of conduct or something like that. So on
Oh,
these
okay.
kind of things we not accept the prs. But our other than that, I think out of maybe around 100 PRs, at least 30 to 40 PRs are coming from the community directly. So we always support the community in as possible way as possible.
Oh, okay. So that means our community members are allowed to at least help in building Ultralytics
Yeah, I
Solutions.
think on my side, you if you have a good idea, and you have structured your solution, the solution that you're going to create in a proper way, as we are doing for every other solutions. I think there is no way that we will actually pause your PR. We will directly merge that. So but I have seen a one PR from the community member, and the reason why it was not accepted is like there was lot of different arguments that was introduced, and in a long run it was quite difficult to maintain, so that's why it was not much. But other than that, every small peer we always merge.
Oh, okay. So speaking about the code of conduct, do you have it
Yeah.
somewhere where maybe I want to contribute to Ultralytics? I have to read and know how to structure my code base, how to make sure I'm not violating any of the rules so that my PR will get accepted.
To be honest, we have the documentation for that. But one thing I can clear is like if your PR will be short, like if you are just changing 2 or 3 lines of code, or maybe maximum 50 to 60 lines of code, there are a lot of chances that your PR will get easily merged. But if you will start creating the stuff around 7,000 plus line change, or maybe 10,000 line, or a lot of code changes, then I
Yeah,
think it's take a lot of time for myself, for our team members to review. Especially I think
to
Glenn do
review.
not like
Yeah.
that, because Glenn wants everything small PRs, and then because he has not a lot of time to work on these kind of things. He has a very specific time on which he take a look at the PRs, and if the PR is very well and very small, and it help him to to get the idea like what we are trying to achieve in this PR. There are a lot of chances that this PR can be merged. So I think the small PRs
Uh,
and the relevant PRs can be easily merged.
okay, that's amazing. So I think I love that. So that means to contribute, I should make sure the PRs are very short as possible, and also maybe well documented code, and most importantly, they must follow the code of conduct or follow the rules of neutralities in order to contribute. All right, so I think we've discussed a lot, a lot, and I'm very grateful having you on this particular one. I myself have learned a lot, especially the product aspect when building product, the necessary permissions to obtain. That's what I'm much interested in, because most of the times you have freelance gigs from people, and then you have to make sure you explain this kind of stuff to them, which is very important. I've also learned a lot, like a lot from whatever you've said, and I know the viewers have also learned a lot who have asked questions. So I think here, and this will bring us to the end of this particular session. But do you have any remarks for the community? Do you have any words for the community?
Yeah, I think overall, to be honest, whenever I believe like there are a lot of people in the community that are asking the queries to me, and I totally believe like I'm not getting providing a lot of time to the community members. It's because my inbox is full, and I am also working on a lot of features and lot of company stuff. So it's quite difficult for me to answer everything. But soon I am going to start the Discord channel, and it will be for the community. So then I don't need to actually focus a lot on the queries, so everyone from the community can answer these queries. So I think I will start creating the Discord channel soon, and I will share the invite on my personal LinkedIn account so you guys can all join. But probably I think in the
Okay.
meantime the best way to reach out to me or to ask me the query is the comment section. So what happen is whenever I create the post and you guys comment on that, so LinkedIn send me the notification and I can respond directly. But if LinkedIn will not send me the notification, then it's quite difficult for me, and you should mention me, otherwise I think I cannot get the notification, especially when you will add some
Yeah.
comment.
Okay, I think that makes sense, and special thanks to you for having you on this particular one. I think I love this session, and maybe in the future when you guys bring up many solutions, I will really want to get into it, get in contact with you. When I gather more feedback from the users, we can hook up on a live session like this where we do something like this again. I really enjoyed this, and I enjoyed every moment of this we have done. Thank you guys, the guys at Ultralytics, the team behind Ultralytics. I say special thanks to you all for your amazing work supporting the computer vision ecosystem. I really love it. So thank you for having you, and I think after the meeting we'll talk. And if you guys have any questions or you are watching this later on, you can put all those in the comment section, and I know you answer to them.
Yeah, I think first of all, I think it's a great player to chatting with you in this kind of scenario, especially about the analytics things. And the second thing is like I like the community building. So if you want to build a community, or you think like you want to promote your projects, or you want to get engagement, or you want my comments on different kind of posts, feel free to mention me. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm always open to contribute, to support the community in any way possible. So my only mission here is like I need to build the community, I need to engage with the community, and I need to grow with the community. So that is the main idea.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think that's cool, and I thank you once again. Okay, so Mr. William is also thanking you. So thanks a lot for this interview. Future is looking promising for computer vision. Yeah, sure. I think computer vision is moving very fast, just as the language and the generative models, and Ultralytics is at the forefront of that. So, and also special thanks to the community. Without the community, we are no one. We are doing nothing without the support of the community. there is nothing going on. So thanks to you guys who are interacting with the models, neutralities models, and I see like a great impact from the community as well, because people are answering questions now and then about neutralities, and people are using these models. So thanks for having you, Mohammed, and I think we can end now. If there are questions, I'll just direct them